I'm Eric Bolling. Welcome to Money Rocks and part 2 of our special Corruption in America, the Bolling Files, where we root out crime, corruption, arrogance, and shocking betrayals of public trust. We believe cutting down on public corruption would amount to a huge tax cut for America. All right, well, if you thought the final injustice for Bell, California was the bad bond deal yesterday, but we talked about that, think again. The final nail in this California town's coffin. Vicious gangs taking over while city officials collected their big, fat paychecks. Join me now from Las Vegas, retired L.A. sheriff and nationally recognized gang expert, Sergeant Richard Valdemar, from Los Angeles radio host Brett Winterble, and on the phone, resident Christina Garcia. Christina, I'm going to start with you right off. You're there. You're in Bell. Tell us, we hear reports. The gangs are there, 18th Street gangs, Mexican mafia. What's going on?
I mean, you definitely have these gangs who are here, and I think, when you have a council that's busy busy not doing their job and busy not paying attention, it's the perfect spot for these gang members to come in and do their business, as no one's going to be paying any attention to them. I don't think they're running the city right now, but you definitely have a presence of gang activity and drug activity in the city.
Sheriff Valdemar, is this the breeding ground for gang activity when a town is so corrupt? There's lawlessness first, then gangs, and then what's next?
You have to think of it the other way around. What you have is gangs that have come in and established themselves in the smallest communities and influenced the culture of the community and then taken over.
I'm sorry, how about Mr. Winterble? That's where I want to go. Is that where we're headed? We're headed to complete lawlessness. Hey, let's set this one step back. This is a town, 2.5 square miles. Here's a sheriff who took $457,000 plus benefits to police a town, 2.5 square miles, and he can't even keep the gangs out of that.
Well, absolutely not. What you've got going on in Bell, California, you can use terms like corruption, but what you've got is an insurgency. All right, this is not a law enforcement problem anymore. These are transnational gangs, similar to what you've seen running around in the rest of Latin America, terrorist organizations, taking up root in the city of Los Angeles, in the county of Los Angeles. You have got extensive criminality. They meet all the definitions of terrorism that the FBI puts out there, the use or threatened use of force to coerce populations to do what they want. You can call it lawlessness, but the bottom line is this is occupied territory, and sending in the Bell police or the LA police is akin to sending in the Afghan National Army and hoping they're going to clean up Afghanistan. You need federal American power to go in and to break the backs of these guys. Hang in there, you three.
Hang in there. I want to bring the panel in. Monica, we're talking, just an environment of corruption, but, a lot of this stuff stems from pensions being too strong, from, and Alan's going to get mad at this, but frankly, a lot of this is a Democrat, a liberal.
Blame the liberals.
Unions, they're favorable to pensions.
This is not a party line problem. Let's make it clear. It's not that they're corrupt or these were predators because they're Democrats or Republicans. These were just straight up predatory individuals coming in and taking advantage of the situation in the city.
Well, but let me ask you that, though. CalPERS said they knew about what was going on in Bell, California 4 years ago. CalPERS could be cleaned up. Hang on, you guys. Hang on over there. Go ahead, Monica.
Yeah, look, there are so many levels of responsibility here. First of all, the public citizens. You do have a responsibility to know what's going on in your government at all levels, local, state, and federal. I think this Bell, California case has really mobilized people to find out not only what's going on in Washington, D.C., but what's going on in your backyard. Look, this group in Bell, California, these people were making $800,000, $450,000, basically to do nothing. They were raping the people of Bell, California, and this is a huge wake-up call. Huge wake-up call.
In a quirk of television, my lefties are on the right, but let me go to you, Tamara. Here's a town where it may default on its bond, it may go bankrupt in November, gangs are moving in. California pensions are broken, and frankly, California pensions are liberal, and they vote Democrat.
Okay, well, we need to separate the issues here. There are pension issues here, there are immigration issues here, there are corruption issues here. We've got to separate the issues. What one of your guests mentioned was that this is an insurgency. We have a major influx of Mexicans coming over the border and taking over these towns. They're taking over the Mexican towns, and they're also taking over towns in California and in Texas. That is a major issue. The other thing is, let's not just talk about Bell County. Let's talk about our inner cities.
No, I want to stay on Bell. Alan,
let's stop this left-right thing, Bolling. I want to make clear.
Why is it not a left-right thing?
Can I finish a sentence, please?
Well, go ahead.
let's make sure that we know that there are liberals there and there are Democrats, and that's who runs California. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a liberal?
Yes.
Let's
yes.
make sure that it's a Democrat.
Talk about the union.
This is like a perfect segue from the first topic. This is why people are losing hope, because they go out there and they feel like they just can't make a difference. There was a dynamic in the first half of this year where the private sector added 600,000 jobs
Then
and the
what
public
do they
sector
do?
cut 100,000.
What is your answer?
So governments are cutting jobs, and these people are giving themselves fat cat salaries. This is what Glenn was saying. This is why people are losing hope in our government and our democracy.
These are not the first fat cat salaries that have ever been given to anyone.
Hey, Brett, I want Brett
time.
to weigh in here. Are we right? Am I off base here? Am I in crazy land here where I say the unions are liberal unions are what's corrupting at least Bell?
Look, these are the very people that are supposed to be protected. The immigrant community is supposed to be protected by the liberals in this country. They have fallen down on the job. There are a lot of illegal
liberals. This is not a
Go ahead,
It's not a liberal, and it's not a right or wrong. It's not a left or right issue. These were just predators, and let's make it clear. Robert Rizzo was not, a bad person because he's a Democrat or Republican. He's just a bad person, period.
Sergeant Valdemar, is this?
I'm not worried about the corrupt politicians. I'm worried about the insurgents that are out there holding people like you hostage in your neighborhood. This is the federal government's responsibility. These are transnational gangs.
Sergeant, you want to weigh in on
this? Not necessarily American citizens.
Sergeant
Yes,
Valdemar?
certainly. Those people are receiving those obscene salaries to turn their heads and not do anything about the gang, narcotics, and criminal aspects of the gangs. So that's what we're seeing.
I don't know that they're getting money to turn their heads. I just think they're just not looking, period. They're just not doing their job by any means.
And listen, Christina, I agree with you. In Bell, it may not be a Democrat left-right issue, but my point was it's a bigger thing. We're going to bring the panel back in just a few minutes. Thank you guys. I want to say thanks to Rich, Brett, and Christina. The panel is going to stick around. Big sweep at the primaries last night, but was the big win a vote for the Tea Party? Don't touch that remote. We got a lot more.